Ladies, how are you?
We're here.
Hey.
We
Back
made
again.
it yet for another sit down, episode 2. You all must have liked it because you came back.
I did.
Ready.
Yes. So we had a good time last time. We're going to have an equally good time this time. You all want to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. I'm Shannon Taylor, mama, wife, meditator, yoga instructor, and just all around human.
And I'm Kim. I didn't say that. I'm Kim. Yeah. Grandma, mama, wife. Human too.
Last time.
Right.
I'm Tierra. I'm here.
Right. Yes, Tierra.
All things wellness I love.
Yes. Thank you, ladies, for being here. We made it. I'm a little tired today.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun the last time. I couldn't miss it. I couldn't miss it. So here we are again. And again, we're here with the wellness ladies at the wellness table talking about all things wellness. And we kind of put this together. We've been putting it together for a number of years. And we finally did it. It's because we just wanted to come and have conversations with you all, maybe compare notes, see if you all feel like we feel, and get as pumped up as we do when we talk about self-care and yoga, meditation, and all the things.
All
Yes,
the things.
All the things. What are y'all drinking today?
Yeah. So today, when you get together with friends, it just feels like you need a beverage.
For sure.
Whether it's
Food or beverage.
a cocktail, a mocktail, or a tea. And so it's Sunday, and we're going with a mocktail today. We found this Olipop prebiotic soda. The flavor of the day is orange squeeze. Mixed it with a little mango orange juice. And you've got, this is our version of Sunday Sunrise.
Sunday sunrise.
We
I'll
call
go
it
with
a
that.
Sunday sunrise. But if you don't know, prebiotics and probiotics are really big right now. Been around for a long time, help with gut health.
Health.
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure things are running smoothly.
Yes.
So cheers.
Cheers. I have water, you all, just in case, you always can choose that to hydrate. But
Absolutely.
yes, but the drink of the day is the sunrise beautiful drink.
So good. I've already been topped off
For
my second round. So
twice
Indeed.
already.
I'll sip slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we thought we would touch on a little bit about meditation because we enjoy it so much. And I guess we're going to talk about our experiences with meditation. That's the first thing I think about, when people ask me, why do I like it, or what do I do, or how do I make it happen? I just think about my own experience. And it's not the same every time.
Yeah.
So
When I knew
thoughts
we
about
were
that?
going to be talking about this, I started with the definition of what generally what we mean by meditation. And it might be different for different people. But the good old internet describes meditation in many ways. The simplest way to think of it is a brain training mechanism for achieving greater awareness, concentration, calmness, and positive emotions. And I think I would add to that it doesn't just allow you to train your brain for positive emotions, but it allows you to kind of check in with your emotions and understand both the positive ones and I'm not going to say negative necessarily. I'm going to say maybe non-positive. But some of the ones that might feel a little bit ickier or a little bit less like positive.
Yeah.
And we know that as part of our human experience that we absolutely need those and that they too are important.
They're all relevant.
I think meditation allows you to dig a little deeper. It allows you to connect with those emotions and understand them. And then it allows you tools to help you think about why they are, and there may or may be a reason, and whether there is or isn't, that you're able to just accept them and maybe not react so much
Yes.
with them, but and to always kind of care and nurture yourself depending on where you are. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that as like a baseline definition for what meditation is?
I was listening to you when you were talking about understanding your emotions, because a lot of things come up as you're sitting still. You may not be able to still your brain in a way that you think you should be able to. So just being able to look at those emotions as they come up, kind of, staring at them like you were, somebody mentioned before, like you're looking at a movie. That's how you're looking at your emotions going by as you're sitting still. And you might come up with an answer right away, or you just may look at it go and come. Different things. So, yeah, that's. I think you described it in the most wonderful way. It's the way I kind of think of meditation, I guess.
Yeah. What was your
just
first
watching? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just curious, like, what was your first experience with meditation?
So my first experience, I want to say it was in a workshop, but I think we can go a little bit further than that. My dad is a pastor, and it got a real interesting with me when I won't make this story long, but when I turned 18, I decided I wanted to do something else other than go to church. I knew that I was still religious, but I needed something else. And I needed to hear more clearly. And so I just started sitting. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't have a name for what I was doing. I just knew I needed to hear something higher than me more clearly. So, yeah, that's where it started for me, in that change, in that transition.
Yeah. What about you?
So,
Yeah.
in a funny story, I've been meditating since I was a little girl.
Okay.
Because my family tells the story of me lying down in the middle of the floor, not listening to nobody and tuning people out. And I've been good at blocking people out for a long time. So I'm like, I've been meditating
So good at that.
for a long time. And I didn't know it. And my family didn't know it. They thought I was being like, mischievous and all that. But I was like, I was just meditating at an early age. But no, formally, when I started teaching yoga, probably in about 2013 or so. So it came again with my trainings as well in workshop. And as we take yoga out of just the asana, and you learn about the other limbs of yoga as well, right? And just understanding that they all have an equal right part in the whole process. And so using that to explore my personal exploration with it before being able to offer it to other people. Yeah.
I'm still kind of studying those things.
Oh, absolutely.
The limbs and all the things that come with doing yoga. Yeah.
Lifelong practice.
Man.
For sure.
Practice.
Always practice. I think my first experience with meditation, when I think about it informally, I think it goes back to church and being younger, Episcopal by background, and it tends to be just a more contemplative way of worshiping. And so it was funny when I started being formally trained in meditation, I saw some of those same elements show up. And I was like, this is why this feels somewhat comfortable. But my early, in yoga teacher training and then, in getting the meditation certification, my meditation experience was tough. It was because, you're told to get comfortable, you're told to get quiet, and I'm not necessarily a quiet person by nature. In my head. Of my mouth and by head. And I would get in there, and easy. What was really funny is that when I allowed myself to get quiet and to be still, I was falling asleep every time. every single time. And then you're laying there and you can hear, when it's a guided meditation, you can hear the person like guiding you through the meditation, and you can also hear yourself snoring. I would be like, wake up.
Isn't that a part of that awareness that we're talking
Yeah.
about? That, seeing the thoughts, seeing everything that comes up.
And still being present,
And still
right?
being present.
Yeah, and allowing your body to rest. Like your body probably needed to
Yeah.
rest though for you even to get to that point. So falling asleep in meditation is not bad.
No, it's not a
right?
bad
So
thing at
it's
all.
really your body probably still needs that, but it's a way of training to get to a different part, a point, right, of proficiency with your practice. But it's not bad. It's part of the process.
Then you all used to take it as used to. I'm not doing that much teaching anymore, but as you all teach in your classes coming and somebody's snoring.
Oh,
I used to love that.
I think it's a badge of honor, right? Like I'm like, oh yes.
They're
And we
so
have to go
sad right
near them
now.
and wake them up and just gently place your hand on
Yeah.
them. Oh, you take your time.
Yeah.
And
that's
that's
kind of a thing.
feel like is a lesson in and of itself, right? Because we're taught we strive, right, to be great at it. And when you're learning how to meditate, you are also told like not to judge, like
Not
to
to
let go of the
judge.
judgment and to just be okay with what is. And what is that you were so relaxed that you went into a different state of being, which may be sleep, which, may be snoring, but there was rest there. There was kind of and so you learn to think about it in a different way. And I think that's a great practice and a great example of getting to know yourself a little bit better.
Yes.
All a part of yoga.
Yeah.
All a part of it.
Yeah. I remember in our training being told first that it's not about clearing your mind. Like that for me and my personal practice was key as well as in my training, right? It's like, no, it's not about sitting here and having a clear mind for like 15 minutes, an hour, 3 hours. And I was like, oh, that really makes sense because that's almost impossible, right? So it put everything in a perspective. So, being able to take that on in my personal practice and really giving me the foundation of taking that expectation off the table. Right. So that's not the expectation. So then it gives you so many other places to go outside of that. Yeah.
Because it's hard too. Like it's like your mind does exactly the opposite of what
you're
you
trying-
want it to do in that moment.
What you're
So
trying
when
to
you tell
control
yourself,
it to do.
right. I remember in a
Yeah.
yoga class, early on in my practice, the instructor would be like, and just allow yourself to fall into nothing and think about nothing and blah, blah, blah. And my mind was thinking of everything but nothing, and including nothing written in cursive that looked like, the neon
A
lights, like the
billboard.
open sign. Yes.
Nothing.
The whole time. And that is not rest.
Yeah.
And so, but it's when you can step back from that and like just allow it to get blurry and kind of hazy in the mind that's like the sweet spot to me.
Oh, yeah.
For me
Yeah.
in meditation. I think it's fair to say it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It looks different for everybody.
The key with that for me is also to not get frustrated in those moments,
Do
right?
not
Like,
get
don't get frustrated because
No
that's
judgment.
observing, and being with what is. And it's like, no, this is what's going on. And maybe I really need to process this in a way in
Why
this
is it coming
moment.
up?
Right. So pay attention to that,
Yeah.
but try not to get frustrated. And to me, how key that is to translating over into real life. Like when you are there and things are going through your mind, or you're going through the routines at work or in traffic or things, but not letting those things frustrate you, even though they're going on, right? So applying that same thing to what's happening in the mind to what's happening in real life.
That's good to hear.
That's the training, on and off the mat, on and off the cushion. Like it's all real world.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of the kind of the meditations that you all like to do? What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite, or do you just let things happen as they happen?
My favorite to practice is really just silence. And I do some guided meditations, but really just me sitting, communing with ancestors, and just being. Like, that's my sweet spot, right? Visualizing me with them together, having a good time, sitting in silence, whatever the things, me being nourished or comforted or anything like that. But a lot of it is silence and some of those visualizations that kind of come with that. As far as teaching, my favorite is like body scan awareness. Yeah, I love those. Yeah.
I like the I was thinking about the kosher meditation today, and it's actually my most favorite because it again tells you to pay attention to all the things, all the things, like your breath, what's going on in the room, what you're feeling. You know, and because a lot of us tend to step outside of our bodies a lot. We almost numb out. And unfortunately, some people have substances that they use to numb out. But then a lot of people deal with that depression, and that is a numbing factor. So bringing you back into the body,
And even trauma, those responses that will not you do from childhood or any adulthood experiences. Yeah. So coming back into your own physical body as a process. Yeah.
I begin almost every yoga class that I teach with a kosher meditation.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it at first, but that is the one that I feel like, my classes are typically evening classes. And, people are scurrying in and rushing. And I feel like that's the one that allows you to, before we begin the movement part of the practice, allows you to land in the body, the mind, and the heart. And to your point of just going through the layers, starting with just that awareness of physical body, and then moving into the breath, and then moving into emotions, and then moving into thought, and then putting all of that together and just recognizing that you're here in this spot in stillness for just a moment. And then we get to the moving. But that's and that's probably one that I like to do if I'm dropping in by myself. I'm not good at silence just yet. But one that I guess that I can do kind of in silence is and probably one of my favorites is karma. I don't even know if it's a formal form of meditation, but we learned it during a silent retreat, and it's just that doing things in silence. So whether it's eating your meal or cleaning, doing a chore or something like that, but just sitting in the presence of what you are doing and being mindful about each step that you're doing, and not just kind of going about and doing it in autopilot, but
because that autopilot is a serious thing. Like, we miss a lot.
like exits on the highway.
Yes. I don't remember taking this one.
The
or getting
menopausal
here.
blank brain. Like, where am I? Oh, yeah, just for a minute, you just blanked out. So it allows you to come back and be aware of your total surroundings, not miss anything, not miss any of that savory food or savory drink that you have.
And to your point, like, people think meditation is only sitting cross-legged in a cushion, like with the candles and all that. And it can be that, right? Yeah. But it's also, like you were saying, like, find moments of meditation throughout your day in daily task, right? So walking meditation, washing the dishes, folding the clothes, like, when you focus on doing just that one thing, right? Like, your mind is focused, you can connect with your breath, you can connect with that thing or the movements of your body. And that's a form of meditation. And so putting that out there and saying, no, we're not just talking about sitting on a cushion, but we're talking about making it a way of life and how you can incorporate it into other aspects of your life. And anytime you choose to slow down and to focus and to breathe and to connect, even to just one task, like, that's meditative.
Walking.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other. Just like just being in that movement. Noticing where your feet land, noticing how you're stepping, into the sole of the foot, the arch of the foot, the metatarsals. Like, I mean, that, and we don't do that.
We don't
naturally. That's, we just do it
on autopilot.
But being able to allow yourself to connect in that way. And then, there's gratitude comes into that. Like, they can flow into, you can start adding in elements. I think you could add gratitude meditations into each of those, into the karma, thank you for these dishes.
Because we ate good. We had something to eat. Right.
To clean for my family.
Definitely.
Or, as you're drinking the water, thank you for this, glass of water as it slides down the throat, nourishes the body, blah, 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 blah.
All of it.
You can just layer those things on top of one another. I think I have two more to add. Loving kindness.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
which also,
That's
to
a
me
real
feels
good
like a
teacher.
prayer.
Yeah, and it is. It is. Starting with yourself and
Yeah.
then including everyone else into it. I think I
From the
appreciate
random
that.
person to, your deepest love to your
Challenging people as
most.
well. Yeah.
Yes,
Which I
yes.
feel like this has been especially good in the last few years with social and political unreckoning in our society. So, like,
Yes.
how can you, just make peace in your spirit in those moments that are really difficult? Or showing love or gratitude or patience,
showing up.
to other people,
Yeah,
right? So there may be a group of people in particular that are out there hurting. So I mean, I can do all the things, but it's a form of prayer, as you said, and you said earlier, your experience with meditation almost being like a prayer and offering it to other groups of people, other parts of the world in those times that have been really challenging over these last few years.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I think that training and meditation also gives you that muscle of being able to release and to let go, which, and this may be an entire other show where we lean into how, meditation connects to spirituality. But I think one of the things that I have gained from having a meditation practice in addition to my yoga practice is that I can hear so much clearer God. I mean, my husband, he is really good at, he'll say, I prayed about it and the Lord told me, blah, 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 blah. And I would be like, there was a time where I would be like, you heard it? You heard it loud and clear?
Oh,
Okay.
how did it say it?
Because I prayed and I thought I heard God say, do blah, 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 blah. And then I did it.
And it
and
was
then it
so
didn't
wrong.
work out. And it was something else. So I don't think I can hear him that clearly.
Yeah.
But in that practice of being quiet and settled, I don't know if I hear more clearly or if I'm more settled with whatever is. And so I'm not so attached to what I did to get there, but that I can accept that whatever the outcome was the outcome. And I don't think I could have gotten there without learning to sit and to be quiet and to just kind of observe and accept.
true.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes in those we come with what we think we want to hear too, and then so that
come with an
meditation,
agenda.
we come with that agenda saying, God, I'm gonna listen. I'm sitting here, but you already know what I want God to tell me,
got the
right?
answers.
And if it's anything different, nah, that ain't it, right?
Yeah.
But the process of meditation, like you said, just being with what is and being at peace and like letting things kind of come through and being able to determine what's me, what's ego, what's God, what's spirit, like what's all those things, and kind of being able to move from a more confident position at that point.
Preach, ladies, preach.
Yeah.
But that'll be
So
like,
true.
part 3 of this
Yes.
conversation about meditation or something. I lean on relaxation meditations lately to help me sleep or when I wake up in the middle of the night to put me back to sleep. And it's so funny. The nights that I put a meditation on, a guided meditation to relax, I might hear settle into your body, get quiet, and then I'm done.
Then you're done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those apps, I think I had the big head when we were being trained a little bit. I think I got
How
a little
so?
cocky because I'd be like, I don't want to use those. I can't hear. I need to hear myself. But they are very useful. Like when you at nighttime, when you may not want to get out of bed, you might not want to set up, you might just need to get back to sleep.
Yeah.
A guided meditation is useful for that.
Yeah.
And you might just hear three words and be like, oh, okay, and then not remember what happened. So yeah, I think they're very useful.
Great tool.
However,
Gateway.
however it comes, whatever tool that you need to use, I think, just start.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I guess we talked about the benefits of meditation, did we? Because we talked about awareness, relaxation,
Rest.
A deeper
Say
connection
rest,
to self, to God, to
connection.
spirit. Yeah.
Yep, to spirit and to God.
Okay.
So, those are just some of the things we leaned into spirituality just a little bit. that connection.
Do you need something special? Do you guys feel like you need a special setup or anything? Just like real quick, what's one thing that you feel like you always have or that you love to have when you get ready to meditate?
Well, I am. I got me a little room, a little tiny little room where I go, and that's where I do my movement, my asana and meditation. But sometimes it just happens at the kitchen table with my feet flat on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Depending on where I'm at in the day.
I would say either something to make me more comfortable, so either something under my seat or a blanket or some fuzzy socks, but something that adds a bit of comfort to my body, because the more physically relaxed you are, the I won't say the easier it is for you to tap into that meditation, but it just creates a more conducive environment within your physical body for your mind to then focus. So for me, it's adding just a tool that will add some comfort, and sometimes that's just a bit of coziness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coziness. Yeah.
I think I'd layer in there a candle.
A candle.
I love a candle.
Yes.
And if it has a scent, that makes it even better. I think that's one of my entry points is scent. And so I'd also say an essential oil at the wrists. And you just start by, putting your hands together and breathing that in. And that just kind of settles and lets you anchor your breath. But I don't think you need a whole lot of special things. You just need you. You just need you. Yeah.
And I say that because people use those as obstacles and hindrances to starting a yoga
Absolutely.
practice or a meditation practice. So yeah, these are tools to kind of enhance and to get you to that spot.
Yeah.
But as you said, like you need you.
Yep.
You could be standing, you can be seated, you can be lying down. And like you said, we'll get into that a little bit later. But you just need you. Even for your yoga practice, you don't need a mat. I did some on some carpet the other day. You make it a little slippery every now, but you know what to do and what not to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But you need you and your body, the time and that commitment to honoring towards your practice. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say was our biggest takeaway from this conversation? What you think?
Meditation is what you need it to be. It looks different, but the same, I think, for all of us. We're all able to share different perspectives. So it's not just one thing of sitting on cross-legged in the mountaintop, achieving some level of, bliss.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think I would ditto that. It's exactly what you needed to be at the time you needed to be.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Yes.
Just breathe.
Just breathe.
Just breathe.
Shall we try it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We are going to close you out with just that, the breath and a little form of meditation just to close you out and make you go happily amongst the rest of the day or the night or whenever you're watching. So how about wherever you are, find a comfortable seat. We're sitting up in a chair right now. You may be sitting on the floor. You might even want to lie down. It's fine. Just be as comfortable as you can possibly be here. Take your time getting in that position. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe making sure that you can feel your feet and feel your seat and feel your back against the chair. If you're lying down, feel your supports on your back, at your hips or at your lower back, at your feet, at your legs. Just feeling your supports. And right here for the next few rounds of breath, as you're breathing in and breathing out. Maybe you may take a little time to notice spontaneous sensations that are present in your body. Maybe you may feel warmth or coolness or tension or ease. And here, take 3 or 4 rounds of breath to notice how the breath is showing up for you today. The pace, the rhythm of your breath, maybe even the texture. Spin 3 or 4 rounds of breath, acknowledging any emotions that may be present. Breathing and exploring any thoughts that are passing through. And as you feel ready, spending the next few rounds of breath, noticing if there are any sparks of happiness or pleasure, joy. Just noticing what's present for you. May be here, may not be. Just notice. And now let go into just being. Everything just as it is. Your thoughts, any sounds, breath coming and going. Nothing that you need to do. All of these perceptions moving through an open receptivity. Just being open, spacious, and receptive. And as you feel ready in your body, go ahead and take time to deepen your breath. Deepen with an exhale. Maybe you may even take a little time to allow your chin to just release at any amount towards your chest. And as you inhale, lift it gently back up again. Maybe you may do this a few times, growing in your movements and whatever you feel is right for you. And if you did close your eyes, take your time and flutter, and then come back into the room. Thanks, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Episode 2 in the books. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for